I've always had a complicated relationship with my parents. They're loving, generous, and deeply religious, and unfortunately, that last part tends to bleed into everything. I'm married to my wife, and while my parents claim to love and accept her, they still make it very clear that they don't agree with our lifestyle. We've always tried to keep the peace. When we'd visit in the past, they wouldn't let us share a bed, even though my straight sister and her husband always do. Back then, we weren't married, so I went along with it. We'd get an Airbnb nearby to avoid drama. But now that money's tight, that's not an option. Since we recently got married, I hoped maybe things had changed. I called my parents to ask if we could stay in the same room this time, given that we're, married adults. They said no, it would make my younger sister uncomfortable and goes against their beliefs. I told them that in that case, we couldn't afford to make the trip this year. They offered to pay for our Airbnb, which was kind, but I still said no. The truth is, I don't want to go somewhere I'm only conditionally accepted. I've spent years walking on eggshells around them, pretending their backhanded comments don't sting, keeping quiet when they treat me like a rebellious teenager instead of a grown woman. My mom accused me of being stubborn and dramatic, and my dad said, I'm letting my pride get in the way of family. Maybe they're right. But I'm done being guilt-tripped into celebrating holidays in a home where my marriage isn't respected. My wife deserves better. I deserve better. So this year, we're staying home, cooking together, and finally having a peaceful Thanksgiving. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go even after they offered to pay for the Airbnb?